Hello everyone! For this video, we will be talking about John Holt's homeschooling and unschooling. I have come to believe that a person's schooling is as much a part of his private business as his politics or religion, and that no one should be required to answer questions about it. May I say, instead, that most of what I know I did not learn in school, and indeed was not even taught. These words were from John Holt. A brief background about John Holt. John Caldwell Holt was born on April 14, 1923. Holt earned a bachelor's degree in engineering from Yale University in 1943. Despite his outstanding academic record, Holt came to see his formal education as mostly meaningless, deciding that the majority of his learning occurred outside the classroom. Throughout the 1960s and 1970s, John Holt argued for children's self-directed learning. Holt recommended parents to tailor the curriculum to their child's interest rather than the curriculum to the child, and he launched Growing Without Schooling from 1977 to 2001. The first magazine devoted only to homeschooling, to exchange ideas and accounts from families who practice the technique. Holt authored several books pushing for homeschooling. In the mid-1960s, as his beliefs gained widespread acceptance, he also contributed to renowned periodicals such as Life and Redbook. If you are curious about John Holt's teaching, the following is a breakdown of his early publications that shaped homeschooling. Now, let us dig deeper on what is homeschooling. Homeschooling, alternatively referred to as home education, is an educational technique that takes place in the house rather than in a facility specifically established for that purpose. It is emblematic of a vast social movement of families, primarily in Western cultures, who think that education is ultimately a parent responsibility rather than a government responsibility. Beginning in the late 20th century, the homeschooling movement grew largely in response to some groups' opposition to public school curricula. This was as per Farenga 2015. In many aspects, homeschooling is a more organic style of education that emphasizes breaking away from typical classrooms that emphasize one-to-many generalist instruction. A homeschool-style learning environment is more tailored to the individual learner, with more one-on-one attention. Indeed, unlike a typical classroom where the curriculum and resources are predetermined, a homeschool program can alter the curriculum and strategies to assure success. In short, homeschooling is about one-to-one education. This is as per Calvert Education 2022. Now, let us talk about unschooling. John Holt was a proponent of homeschooling, but more specifically of an educational system known as unschooling. Unschooling is a hands-off form of education. Unschooling emphasizes learning through life experiences such as hobbies, play, and for older students, internships. Rather than having a teacher dictate the curriculum, children engage in the selection of subjects. Rather, homeschool parents or teachers serve as more of a guide than an educator, according to Homeschool Boss 2021. John Holt's term of unschooling has come to be associated with a method of homeschooling in which no prescribed curriculum is used. Homeschooling implies education at home, but unschooling implies the polar opposite of schooling. Individuals who accept school-based teaching methodologies but desire greater control over subject matter, socialization, and values presented to their children may comfortably accept the term homeschooling. Individuals who were dissatisfied with the teaching methods and environment of school may be more likely to adopt the term unschooling. To guide us more, here are some of the advantages of homeschooling. Flexibility. Flexibility is a major reason why parents homeschool. Parents can choose their own curriculum, giving them complete control over how and what they educate. This also establishes an interest for the learners. Some parents want to adopt a certain value system, while others have a child with specific needs who require a tailored approach. Free time. Like flexibility, homeschooling parents and kids don't have to follow a rigid schedule. No school notification is needed, and kids can learn at whatever time of day that suits them. There aren't a million distractions in a classroom of 20 to 30 kids. The learner may proceed fast through content or slowly if needed. One-on-one learning improves education overall, especially when learning styles are considered. There's also less busy work that slows kids down or takes up time. Relationship building. Homeschooling entails being present for the learner's milestones. The link formed between parent and kid during schooling is one of the strongest, where as the learner continues on gaining knowledge, spending time and having quality time won't be sacrificed. College readiness and success. One myth regarding homeschooling is that students can get into college. However, several colleges are actively pursuing homeschooled students due to their better college success rates. Students that are homeschooled gain independence and maturity. Parents can offer homework tasks that require accountability. Homeschoolers are accountable since they control their own education. Older homeschoolers can also start working and earning money while still in school. Lastly, socialization. Another myth about homeschooling is that it lacks socialization chances. Homeschoolers can meet peers through homeschool support groups, state homeschool associations, field trips, and sport programs. Bullying is also less of an issue if the student homeschools. Meanwhile, here are also some of the disadvantages of homeschooling. Anxiety. When a parent considers homeschooling, their initial thought is, can I even do this? Taking charge of the learner's education might be stressful. Some guardians initially question if they're doing enough, doing it right, or perhaps harming their child. This concern is totally acceptable and shows that the guardian cares about the learner's education. Further, this may also increase anxiety to the learner given that otherworldly intervention would become a much broader space to venture compared to that of inside their home. Transition from traditional school to homeschooling can be traumatic for parents and the learners. Choosing curriculum, timetables, and activities can be overwhelming at first. Also, the longer their child has been in formal school, the more difficult homeschooling may be. It takes time to shift from a classroom perspective to the freedom to design a tailored learning environment. Lifestyle change. Many homeschooling families face challenging financial choices. It can mean reducing two salaries to one or working from home. This can be a financial and lifestyle challenge. The last one is costing. Homeschooling has both advantages and disadvantages. Homeschooling might be more expensive than public schooling, depending on the curriculum chosen. There are also many free resources such as unit study supplements and library visits. The expense of homeschooling varies for every family. In a nutshell, homeschooling has continued to develop at a fast pace, aided by the growing acceptance of homeschooling as an acceptable educational choice. A growing number of families have embraced homeschooling for pragmatic reasons, such as concerns about bullying or the low quality of local schools as per CRHE 2022. According to Homeschool Boss 2021, homeschooling is prevalent in every city today. Over 2.5 million pupils are educated at home, and they all have the opportunity to profit from homeschooling. How about you? I would like to hear your insights about this subject matter. I hope you learned something. Bye!